Keith Sweat was born in Harlem, New York in 1961. Raised in the tough neighborhoods of the city, music became both his escape and ambition. He started singing in local nightclubs while working a day job on Wall Street. His smooth voice, influenced by classic soul and funk, began catching attention. Harlem gave him grit, music gave him hope, and Sweat was determined to make something greater than survival. He wanted legacy. In 1987, Keith Sweat burst onto the music scene with the release of his debut album, Make It Last Forever. The album was an instant success and featured the unforgettable hit single, I Want Her, a song that would go on to define an entire era of R&B. This track, with its infectious groove and heartfelt vocals, became a cornerstone of the emerging New Jack Swing movement, a groundbreaking fusion of R&B, funk, and hip-hop. The album, produced by the legendary Teddy Riley, introduced a fresh, dynamic sound that captivated audiences and set the tone for R&B in the late 1980s and early 1990s.
Make It Last Forever didn't just make waves, it made history. The album achieved triple platinum status, selling over 3 million copies and solidifying Keith Sweat's position as a major force in the music industry. His voice was a unique blend of smooth sensuality and raw power, bringing a new level of emotional depth to romantic ballads and mid-tempo grooves. Sweat's lyrics were intimate and deeply personal, resonating with fans who found his music both relatable and deeply moving. Throughout the 1990s, Keith Sweat continued to dominate the R&B charts. He released a string of successful albums and hit singles that kept him in the spotlight. Tracks like Twisted and Nobody became anthems of love and longing, showcasing his ability to craft timeless songs that connected across generations. His signature slow jams were the soundtrack to countless romances and late-night moments, and his live performances consistently drew sold-out crowds. It's only doing these sold louds like a property infus. Awards and accolades followed, but more importantly, Sweat earned the respect of his peers and the adoration of his fans. His influence shaped the sound of contemporary R&B, and his contributions helped pave the way for future artists. By the end of the decade, Keith Sweat was more than just a singer. He was the undisputed king of slow jams, a true icon of romantic rhythm, and a pioneer whose legacy continues to inspire.
With success came immense wealth, and Keith Sweat embraced it with style, confidence, and flair. As his music career soared, so did his lifestyle. At the height of his fame, he purchased a sprawling mansion in Atlanta, a true palace that reflected his status as one of R&B's elite. The estate featured marble floors that gleamed under custom lighting, a private home theater where he previewed his music videos, and ornate gold-framed mirrors that added a touch of regal elegance to every room. Keith's taste in fashion matched his opulent surroundings. He became known for his sharp, sophisticated look, Armani suits tailored to perfection, silk Versace shirts in bold prints, and handmade crocodile loafers that exuded quiet power. Whether he was performing on stage or attending an exclusive event, Sweat carried himself with undeniable charisma and presence. His style was never loud, but it always spoke volumes. He had a passion for luxury cars and was often seen behind the wheel of a Bentley Continental, a sleek Mercedes-Benz S-Class, or his prized Rolls-Royce Phantom. Each vehicle was a statement of success, turning heads wherever he went. But beyond the material possessions, it was how Keith wore his success, with grace and dignity, that made him stand out. His parties were legendary, lavish affairs filled with celebrities, industry insiders, and close friends. Crystal flutes overflowed with champagne, gourmet meals were served on silver platters, and live performances often took place with Sweat himself, dressed in flowing silk shirts, serenading his guests with the same heartfelt voice that made him famous. Keith Sweat wasn't just an artist, He became an icon of black excellence, class, and luxury. He represented more than just musical talent. He embodied aspiration. For many, his lifestyle was the ultimate dream brought to life, a fantasy made real through hard work, passion, and unshakable belief in his own greatness. His rise wasn't just personal, it became a cultural statement of achievement and pride. The 2000s brought a new era, and with it, new challenges. The music industry underwent massive shifts. Digital streaming replaced physical albums. Trends changed rapidly, and younger artists flooded the scene. For many veteran performers, this period marked the end of their prominence. But for Keith Sweat, it was simply another chapter in a remarkable journey. Though he faced personal struggles and was occasionally surrounded by rumors, Keith never faded into obscurity. He remained active in the studio, continuing to release new music that stayed true to his roots, while also embracing the evolution of R&B. His voice matured, his lyrics deepened, and his sound reflected both the wisdom of experience and the hunger to stay relevant. He never chased trends, he adapted them to his own timeless style. One of his boldest moves was stepping into a new role as the host of The Sweat Hotel, a nationally syndicated radio show that reached millions of listeners every week. From slow jams to intimate conversations, the show gave Keith a new platform to connect with fans, old and new. His soothing voice, already legendary in song, became a nightly comfort across the airwaves. It was proof that his presence remained powerful even beyond the microphone. Keith also began collaborating with a new generation of artists, blending classic R&B with modern flair. These partnerships didn't just update his sound, they introduced his legacy to younger audiences who quickly embraced him. He was no longer just a legend of the past, he was part of the present. And when he stepped on stage, the energy never dimmed. Keith Sweat still had that magnetic pull, each performance a testament to his enduring charisma and talent. The passion, the sweat, the soul, it was all still there. His resurgence wasn't a comeback, it was a reminder. Icons don't vanish, they evolve, they endure, and in Keith Sweat's case, they continue to inspire with every note, every lyric, and every beat. Keith Sweat evolved beyond the role of a musician. He became a savvy entrepreneur and investor, proving that his talents extended far beyond the stage and studio. As his music career generated significant wealth, he made strategic moves to secure his financial future and build a lasting legacy. Rather than relying solely on royalties and performances, Keith diversified his income and invested wisely. He began by acquiring properties in key cities like Atlanta, Miami, and Los Angeles, locations known not just for their luxury appeal, but for their long-term value in the real estate market. His investments weren't just limited to homes, they spanned luxury condominiums, upscale vacation rentals, and high-traffic commercial buildings. Over time, Sweat's real estate portfolio became one of his most valuable assets, providing consistent revenue streams and appreciating in worth. But he didn't stop there. Keith also opened state-of-the-art recording studios, giving emerging artists a place to create while building a solid business foundation in the music production world. Always tapped into the nightlife scene, he co-owned exclusive nightclubs that quickly became hotspots, blending his brand with high-end entertainment experiences. Recognizing the future early, Sweat turned his attention to the tech world, investing in promising startups and digital ventures. This forward-thinking approach revealed another side of him, one driven by innovation, foresight, and calculated risk. While many artists struggled to navigate life after fame, Keith Sweat was building an empire. His entrepreneurial spirit was as bold and visionary as his music. He approached business with the same passion and precision that made his songs timeless. Every move was intentional, every investment a step toward long-term success. Through it all, he remained grounded, proving that with smart decisions and the right mindset, music wealth could be transformed into generational capital. Keith Sweat didn't just adapt to success, he expanded it. He became a symbol of what's possible when creativity meets strategy, And when ambition extends beyond the spotlight, Keith Sweat's influence echoes through R&B. From Usher to Chris Brown, his vocal style shaped a generation. His lyrics still melt hearts, and his songs are sampled, remixed, and celebrated. Beyond music, he's known for style, resilience, and luxury. Now he's planning a memoir, mentoring new talent, and expanding his real estate brand. Keith Sweat didn't just make it last forever, he made it matter forever.